Welcome everybody to What's the 411? This is the place that brings you news, observation, interpretation, and news commentary. Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's the 411 News. And yes, indeed, there's some very good news for Jackson, Mississippi. All right. Jackson, Mississippi, you're going to get some clean water. All right. And guess who it's coming from? You know who it's coming from. The one and only Moses West. All right. So Moses West is putting the finishing touches on his atmospheric water generator to help out Jackson, Mississippi with their water issues since their local government can't seem to solve problems. All right. So that's what it's all about. That's what life is all about, solving problems. So before we get to Moses West, we're going to take a look at this real quick. All right. We're going to take a look at this here. Jackson can't trust Mississippi to fix water crisis, mayor says amid calls for civil rights investigation. All right. All righty. So we're going to take a look at that real quick before we do that. Let's go right here. All right. And so let's take a look. All right. Let's see what they're talking about here. All right. The war of words in Jackson continues. The war of words in Jackson continues as residents still struggle through a water crisis that has lasted for decades. All right. This has been going on for decades. During a meeting on Tuesday, Jackson Mayor Chakwe Antar Lumumba told residents don't trust the state when it came to fixing their water issues. All right. He also questioned whether the state provided equal protection for residents in Jackson compared to other cities. All right. So it looks like he's just blowing the top off right now, just letting it all out and exposing some things. Okay. According to the Clarion Ledger, during the meeting, the mayor opposed allowing the city's water and sewer administration to be taken over by the state and asked citizens not to be hoodwinked or misled into believing your city doesn't have a plan, citing a $200 million plan commissioned by his administration. Excuse me. And while water pressure in Jackson has stabilized, Lumumba said the public shouldn't assume the problem is over. This week, the federal government meet with Jackson officials to reach an agreement that would safeguard Jackson's water system for the foreseeable future. Michael Reagan, an Environmental Protection Agency administrator, said that the federal government plans to deliver long overdue relief for Jackson residents. Now all of a sudden the federal government plans. They're not going to do it. They're planning to deliver long overdue relief to the Jackson residents. All right. The people of Jackson, Mississippi have lacked access to safe and reliable water for decades, Reagan said. After years of neglect, Jackson's water system finally reached a breaking point this summer, leaving tens of thousands of people without any running water for weeks. These conditions are unacceptable in the United States of America. According to the EPA, 300 boil water notices have been issued over the past 2 years in the city. But Jackson's water problems go back much further than a few years. Jackson has struggled with safe water access since the 1940s. I'm just kind of let y'all marinate on that for a minute. Jackson has struggled with safe water access since the 1940s. Wow. Mississippi governor looks like Tate Reeves has publicly blamed Jackson's water crisis on city officials. There we go with the blaming. And just talking about blaming people and things in itself is a whole nother topic for a podcast. So I'm not even going to get into that. But just check out the games already getting started. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves has publicly blamed Jackson's water crisis on city officials. Excuse me, but the NAACP has demanded answers as well as solutions from both the governor and mayor. On Tuesday, the organization submitted a 25-page complaint to the EPA requesting an immediate investigation into the use of federal funds related to drinking water in Jackson and to seek the rapid adoption of comprehensive enforcement remedies. All right. According to PBS, Reeves was state treasurer from 2004 to 2012 and the 32nd lieutenant governor from 2012 to 2020. During that time, the State Bond Commission, which Reeves was a part of, refused to vote on bonds the city had requested to repair its crumbling water and sewage infrastructure. So it looks like this dude Reeves has a lot to do, or quite a bit to do with this water issue in the more recent times, but he seems to have been in the game and been in the know since 2004 to about 2020. So it looks like he plays a major part in this situation here. All right. Looks like he plays a serious part in here, and he's playing the blame game, maybe to get some smoke off of him. I don't know. It's kind of, when I think about this, it's kind of crazy because, if you're going to be some type of leadership in some leadership role in city government, state government, federal, you need to have people on your team. You need yourself to have some type of, I don't know if necessarily intelligence, but some type of mindset that you want to start off with. You have a mindset that you want to make sure your people are good, not just certain types of people, everybody. All right. But we know in this particular incident, if in a particular situation, there are a certain group of people that are more affected than others, you should also have a mind to make sure that they're taken care of as well. So I don't want to sound like some of these folks like Warnock and the rest of the crew, Stacey Abrams and everybody was talking about do something for all. No, in this case, there's a lot of Black people getting affected in this particular city. So we need to concentrate, or if that was me, I would have to concentrate on them, making sure they're good because I know everybody else is good. All right. So Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. 18.8% of its residents live at or below the poverty line. That's another, take a second to marinate on. As I repeat this again, Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. 18.8% of its residents live at or below the poverty line. Now that's the problem that needs to be solved. That's a problem that needs some ideas and some options. All right. But I'm going to go on. The state also boasts the highest child poverty rate with 27.9% of its under 18 population meeting federal poverty guidelines. Nearly 39% of the state's Black population lives below the poverty line. That's another sit down and marinate on that for a second. Yeah, you need leadership, whoever's in charge, somebody who is a person of wanting to come up with ideas and then trying to implement things after doing some pros and cons of the ideas that come up so you can make sure people improve. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let me finish this last sentence here. As more questions arise about how we got here, hopefully, city and state officials can come together to solve the Jackson water crisis once and for all. Well, while there's still playing games with themselves, playing with themselves, trying to come up with solutions, because either one, no one really wants to come up with solutions, or two, they just don't have the mindset and maybe the people in the team on the team that's idea oriented, which I think everybody can come up with ideas. It's just sorting out the pros and cons, the good, the bads of those ideas, and what can be put in place and put in action right away, and what can't, and what might take some time down the road. So yeah, there's some game playing going on. Somebody is getting money though. You got all these people in poverty, the black folks and kids under the poverty line. That's a problem that needs to be solved. Anyway, don't fear. Jackson, Mississippi, you do have some type of relief, somebody who is a problem solver. And yeah, so let's talk about that real quick, okay? Let's look at this right here. The Moses West Foundation, and that's Moses West in the picture. He has invented the atmospheric water generator, which actually generates water from the air. Imagine that. He had a mind to look at things, come up with ideas, and he realized that he can actually take water from out the air and put it in somewhere and contain it, and then be fresh water, and then people who need that fresh water, can get it to do whatever they need to do. Wash up with, just drink fresh, clean water to put back into your body's systems, to get your body going right, to wash up with, etc., etc. Wash clothes. And this brother here is one of those guys. Me personally, I like coming up with ideas myself to solve problems. So, and that's what life is all about. People say all these things about what they're here for. We're all here to solve problems, whether you believe it, realize it or not. We're all here to solve problems. So the Moses West Foundation, we wanted to give you all a look at the final parts of the self-contained systems we are bringing to Jackson. So Jackson, you got clean water coming on the way. People all over the South will need this technology and our assistance now more than ever. Thank you all for your support. And then you guys can go to that website if you want to support financially to help them continue having the money so we can keep creating this these atmospheric water generators. That way, when other cities need some fresh, clean water, he can create those machines and bring it to them. All right. So it's the MosesWestFoundation.org. All right. We'll be putting that back up again here in a sec. All right. So with that being said, we're going to roll this video here. And the man himself is going to just kind of break it down on finishing touches. All right. So let's check it out.
All right, so this is the water pump that's going to go to this tank right here. And this is the tank that's 350 gallons. As you can see, all the stainless steel fittings that are going to go on there. This is a back pressure so that when the pump cuts on, it pulls water out. As soon as you close the valve, the pump is going to stop working. So here's the pump. Let's come closer. We can take a look at this guy. It's another, it's a NSF 61 rated pump. So it's for water. Stainless steel tank here. This holds 350 gallons of water. And if we come around to this side here, we got this guy new. It's American made. We're in a union shop. And so this guy right here is what's going to be the water supply for the building. So they can use this for the building or for the garden or whatever they want. The water generator will pump into here. All these stainless steel fittings here, let's come closer enough to take a look at these guys. All this is stainless steel, so none of this stuff corrodes. And that's what's really important. And that's it. This is the water tank that's going. This will be coupled with the water generator. So when this sets in place, all of this together is going to be turn it on. This will fill with water overnight, and then after that, just stop by and pick up water as you need it, and it'll continuously fill itself. So that's it from the manufacturing plant, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, man. So you heard it from the man himself, and he let you know what's going on in the process and the progress of getting those water, or getting the water generator completed and shipped out to Jackson, Mississippi. All right. So hopefully, hopefully they definitely will be getting some clean, fresh water coming their way. In the meantime, while city officials and probably state officials there in Mississippi, twiddle their thumbs and drag their feet and drag their knuckles on coming up with some ideas and solutions and some options to taking care of Jackson's water situation. All right. So that's real good news. It's real good news for Jackson, Mississippi. And let's not forget there are other cities out there that having water issues that is just not being reported and put out there, as you know, by the mainstream news, because they're not the types that's going to put that out there. And especially if it turns out that these areas where they having water issues are the majority are populated by Black folks, who definitely are not going to hear it in the lamestream news media. All right. So that's why the new voices of Black media are here to put them coverages out and get that out to the people, so you know what's going on. And it's kind of crazy though that the lamestream news won't cover things like that. And if the way they do it, sometimes they'll put it on like the internet, because they figure, and they probably put it like in word form, because most likely they are figuring that a lot of people won't sit up there and research the news for some news information, and do it in a reading type of form. So that way they can come back later and say, well, yeah, we did report it, but they're not reporting it in the way that a lot of people take in the information, which is like a visual, looking on YouTube or the television, which now a lot of times people are looking on YouTube now for their news. They're not depending on the lamestream news media. They're looking for the new voices of Black media. All right. And that's what we're here for. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. We'll be back with some more news. Shout out again to Moses West. And one more time, we put this out here so everybody can get this. All right. Be sure to show your support. I'm gonna be donating as well. The Moses West Foundation.org. And then once you get to that site, there'll be a donation button and a whole host of ways you can donate as far as dollar wise. It'll give you some options, whether it's a one time or a subscription, so to speak, over a period of time. So you can choose which one you want to do. All right. So again, that's MosesWestFoundation.org, which you guys see on the screen right now. Moses West in the blue letters. MosesWestFoundation.org. 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 All right. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. We are available on YouTube, which I want you to subscribe here on YouTube. We also available on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. All right. And also you can check us out at buymeacoffee.com/blogworldintl, which is short for international. So you don't type out the word in the international, you type in buymeacoffee.com/blog world intl. You can also catch this news information or news report there as well. Also, we'll be also available to be seen on Spotify. And you can also listen to us on all podcast listening platforms available. All right. So support New Voices of Black Media by subscribing to this channel here on YouTube. And once again, this is What's the 411 News. And we out of here. All right. Peace. Welcome everybody to What's the 411? This is the place that brings you news, observation, interpretation, and news commentary. Let's get it.